Hey Saners, welcome back to the YouTube channel. In this video, we're going to talk about the big news that Eddie Maguire dropped on Footy Classified last night. If you didn't see it, this is what he said.
It looks like they'll be getting some other players in as well. I think St Kilda is probably the favourite for Jack Silvagni now. Remarkable.
So Jack Silvagni, I can tell you, did a medical at St Kilda today.
Yeah.
So that's on.
Yeah. So, bit of news there. We'll talk about it. Obviously, Collingwood and the Western Bulldogs have been interested in Carlton's Jack Silvagni. We have obviously been included in that group, and for a lot of the talk, we've not really been the front runner for his services. Collingwood supporters have been pretty excited by the prospect of getting him. The Bulldogs, their attacking game is great. They need more support in defence. He would provide that. Mixed view from a lot of St Kilda supporters that I've seen, that I've spoken to. Some are very excited by the prospect of getting someone like him in if he stays fit, which we'll talk about. And then on the flip side, a lot of people are wondering why would we go for him when we're looking at getting Leek Alia, when we've got Dougal Howard on another year contract, we've got Callum Wilkie there, obviously Caminiti and Alex Tyrou in the back half. When you think about Jack Silvagni, the first thing you think about is he doesn't get on the park enough. And that's fair enough. You know, that's a fair concern for a lot of St Kilda supporters. That is one of my concerns when you're looking at his injuries. Obviously, 2020, he only played 3 games for the season. You go back to 2024, he missed the entire season in that period of time. We've had those issues before with players. We've had enough of players that, you know, we've invested in and haven't gotten on the park. You know, we've been burnt before. And I think that's where a lot of this comes from. We just, you know, especially when it comes to spending whatever the money's going to be for someone like Jack. So obviously those concerns are real. He only played 13 games this season. He's never played more than 21 games in a season, and that was back in 2022. So when you're looking at his run of form, you know, it is suspect to say the least. He's also been in and out of form when he does play, because Carlton have kind of, very similar to how we started with Anthony Caminiti, where we didn't know if he was a forward, if he was a defender. I think he's been thrown in the ruck a little bit occasionally. There's been certain points in his career at Carlton for Jack that he hasn't really found that continuity with his game. We've seen it though in patches in this season where they've settled him. They settled him in the back line as that intercept rebound defender, and he looked really good there. He looked comfortable. He used the ball well. He had a high intercept marking game, which is very, very, you know, it suits us. It suits modern day football. It suits the way football is going. And it would fit a need. He would put pressure on the likes of Anthony Caminiti. You know, Hammer is our tallest defender this year, which is hard to believe. Jack is not as tall, but what he does bring is some experience and depth in that department. As much as we are being aggressive and we want to get the right players, we also want to be getting players that that make us better, but also put pressure on everyone else. And I think that puts pressure on Hammer. There's no reason why they couldn't all work. Whether Ross has maybe some plans of playing Caminiti forward again. I still think Tyrou ends up as a forward, so maybe that's fast-tracked. We don't know. We don't know the master plan of what this is going to be. But I don't see us picking and choosing Silvagni, Alia. I see them both being picked for different reasons. JSOS, on more of the experienced end, on more of the mature end. You know, he's 28, 29, I think he is. He's 27, so he'll be 28 by round 1 next season, I believe. So he's in his prime. Maybe that's something we've considered. You know, Leek Alia, he will be a project player. There's no guarantees that he would play a full season next season. With the defence that we've got, with everyone fit, there's no harm in that either, because as Ross and Bassett and all of these guys have said, we want to be building for sustainable success as well. So we're not putting all our eggs into the 27 and above basket, but we're also not going to just go completely 23 and under and rely on the youth. We want to build around it, and clearly this is and it's not just with JSOS, but it'd be with the types of recruits we're looking at. Liam Ryan as well on the older end, we must be trusting in that we've gotten the youth right up until this point, and we need to be building around the fringes a little bit and filling out the gaps because, like I've said, you look at our list, and from 23 and under, we've got an influx of talent. When you get to 25 to 28, there's not many there. Or maybe even 26 to 29, there's not many there. And then you go 29 and above, and you're getting into the Sinclair, I think Jack Steele, Rowan Marshall, Mason Wood, Brad Hill territory, Zach Jones territory. So there's a bit of a gap there. And I think that's where the club has kind of identified that's the space we need to be playing in, because we've got the under 23s right. We've got enough in the genuine experience department that we think if we fill out the middle demographic, the middle part of our list, that might fast track some short-term, success in the next 2 years. And I really liked that about what Naz said on Footy Classified last night. He mentioned that, and even before that show, he was interviewed on Channel 9 and talked about he thinks we could be playing in big finals, in grand finals within the next 2 years. Obviously, he's not going to say much beyond that because that's what he's signed to, but I like that bit of pressure. And it's not just me saying that, it's the club saying that, or at least Naz saying that, which reflects what the club believe they can achieve. So I think that's a key point in this sort of acquisition. You look at Brisbane, they got Danaher from Essendon. He hardly played a game in his career at Essendon, really. And then he goes to Brisbane and he doesn't miss a game of football, doesn't miss a beat, wins a flag. And their medical department got him right. You can criticise the player, you can worry about the player, which I get and I do too. But at the same time, I'm looking at, that's a different club. They do his rehab differently. They played him differently. The culture there is different. And at St Kilda, if we want to be better than these teams, we would hope that we would do those things better than them as well, right? So if we get him, I trust that what we're going to do is get him fit, get him right, and hopefully, barring any bad luck, that we get a full season out of him. And you look at the clubs that wanted him, Collingwood and Bulldogs, one that just missed the finals and then the other one who's playing in a qualifying final. So it's not like we're beating two bottom four teams to getting his services. We're beating two teams that we would want to be in their position in the next couple of years and beyond that. So I've watched some highlights of his season, at least this year, and I can see the appeal. I can see, not just what he might bring on his best day, but you look at the acquisition. He's a free agent. It doesn't cost us anything. It costs us salary cap space, but it doesn't cost us picks. We don't have to trade players. He's versatile, and I think that's a trait that Ross loves in a player is versatility, sort of his stats against someone like a Caminiti. He does excel in that department in terms of rebounds, in terms of his kicking accuracy, more contested marks as well, more score involvements, score launches marginally ahead, more tackles. So he brings a little bit there, and we were bottom 6 or bottom 7 for points against this season. Clearly that's an area, and obviously he's not that 200 centimetre fullback, but I personally just think that football is moving in a more zone intercept rebound space as opposed to just pure one-on-one wins. I don't think there were many games this season when I look back where we got absolutely monstered by one forward because we were undersized. It was just more we gave up 20 more inside 50s. The structure wasn't really there. I don't think, that a 200 centimetre fullback would just automatically take those problems away. I think it's more to it and more the way we go about it. I'm assuming we've done our due diligence. We've obviously the medical as well and what that provides in terms of reassurance on his body. And we'll see what plays out. Obviously, it's not a done deal, but Tom Morris thinks we are the favourite to land his services. So we'll see on that front. Hopefully you've enjoyed this video. Saying there's a little bit more in depth on Jack Silvagni. I think when you kind of look at the main issues we've had this season in terms of the fact we've been dominated in the air, we get outmarked constantly. Maybe this shorts us up a little bit. No doubt if we had to trade for someone like Jack Silvagni, I don't think we would be in on it. The fact that he's a free agent, the fact that we can afford him, and it doesn't cost us anything in terms of picks or trades, 100%. I think that's an aggressive move. It's a move for now. And as much as we want to focus on the future, we've got a little bit of pressure on us now. As much as maybe we don't like it, maybe supporters haven't seen it yet, with the moves we're making, we want to be moving quick and we want to spike in the next year or two. So this is another sort of go now decision, but we're balancing it out with, we're linked to Flanders, 24, we're linked to Mackenzie, 21, Aaliyah, 22, 23, I think. So it's clearly a deliberate ploy to balance out the list, and if it makes us stronger, I'm all for it. So put your thoughts in the comments, Sainers. Obviously more to play out in this space. I just wanted to go through his stats, his history, and give you a bit of a breakdown on where everything is at. So hopefully you enjoyed this video. More to come. Thanks very much, Sainers. Enjoy your week, and as always, go you mighty Sainers. See you guys.